In the previous part, we saw that Tian fought Han Feng to save Yi Yuan and Xiao, defeating him very easily. Afterward, he bid them farewell and returned here to Star Town, where he met the young masters of some families. They were all discussing a competition. This competition is being organized by the Shun family, and the prize is the yin yang fruit, which is a very rare martial arts fruit. But when Tian arrives there, Bai Tian's son is surprised to see him. He says, "You are still alive?" Tian gets angry at this. Later, teaching him a lesson, he says, "From now on, whenever you see me, do not call me by my name, but address me as young master." Now, at the beginning of this part, we see Tian heading towards the Shun family courtyard. Upon arriving, all the other disciples are shocked to see him because they thought Tian was truly dead. Seeing him, they were talking amongst themselves, saying they thought Tian's body had been eaten by monsters, which is why his body wasn't found. However, as Tian approaches, they move out of his way. Walking forward, Tian was thinking about his father and his sister, Lu Ji, but just then, he meets the Shun family protectors, who are among the 4 protectors of the Shun family. They were very surprised to see Tian, although they were also happy. Then Tian asks them about his father. They send him forward, saying, "You should call him out yourself." They mention that it has been 2 whole months since Tian's father stepped out of his house. They say that as soon as he found out something happened to you, he locked himself in a room and hasn't come out since. After this, Tian comes forward, falls to his knees, and says, "Father, I have returned." Hearing this, his father comes out. He was extremely happy to see him and hugs him, starting to cry. Tian says, "Father, forgive me for worrying you." But his father says, "No, I should be the one apologizing for not being able to protect you." Although Tian says, "Father, I know, who tried to kill me." But his father stops him immediately. He says, "Not here. We will talk inside. Besides, I know that those people will not give up yet. They will try to attack you again. So you must be safe now." After that, they go inside. Then the scene changes. We come to Bai Tian. Bai Tian was angry at his son, Tatsu, because Tatsu could not do his job properly. Although Tatsu argues, "I push him off that cliff. I don't know how he survived and returned." But then Lao Lu says, "Leave it. Besides, he is just trash." Hearing this, Tatsu gets angry, but Lao Lu clarifies that he is talking about Tian. He says, "We should let him enter the competition. Anyway, his fighting will mean nothing. Shinyu will defeat him easily." By the way, Shinyu is actually by Tian's daughter's name, and she is very powerful. Lao Lu adds, "If you feel the need, you can also enter your other son into the competition. That will ensure our victory." At this, Bai Tian says, "Yes, you are right." And then he dismisses Tatsu from there, saying, "You are useless, get lost." After this, the scene changes, and we come to Tian. He was cultivating at this moment. He was saying that the annual ceremony, meaning the day of the competition, is approaching very fast, so he must reach the warrior realm as soon as possible. However, while cultivating, the same sword master emerges from within him. He says, "You seem very hopeless. Even when you set a target, it's only to reach the warrior realm. While you know how capable you are, you have a double soul inside you, and techniques that people fail to master in years, you have understood in just a few days. Do you think you are only made for the warrior realm?" Tian starts saying, "How did you get here? I killed you. Did you not die?" To which the ancient swordmaster says, "Killing me is not that easy. And besides, I am a soul. Your sword cannot destroy me so easily, and perhaps you won't be rid of me so soon." After this, Tian asks, "What do you want from me?" The swordmaster says, "I just want my body back, which I can get from this book of heaven." Tian asks how, but the sword master says that is not written in that book. Hearing this, Tian gets very angry and says, "Then why did you try to snatch my body?" The sword master replies, "Forgive me, but I thought perhaps by doing so, I would get a body for myself." However, Tian starts saying, "Get out of here. I don't want you to attack me again and force me to fight you." However, after Thinking for a moment, he says, "Fine, I can help you, but what will I get in return?" Hearing this, the sword master says, "Now that I have awakened, no one will be able to trouble you. You can become many times more powerful than the people you have enmity with." He also mentions that in a very short time, he can help Tian complete the 13 types of sword attacks and also that armor technique. Actually, Tian had only mastered them at a basic level then. The technique is not complete yet. Anyway, for all this, Tian had to promise his help. Tian thinks a little and promises for now. After this, the sword master says, "Okay then, we will go inside you to learn these techniques." And after that, he had arrived at a different place inside himself, a completely different world. The sword master explains that this world was created with the help of the Book of Heaven. Hearing Book of Heaven, Tian immediately takes out that book. The sword master says, "Yes, this is the book. But there are 9 books like this in total, and after acquiring all 9 books, anyone can understand the way of heaven." He explains that when Tian was falling into the water and his soul was damaged, he used this very book, which gave Tian another 10 years to live. Tian is shocked to hear this and asks, "Will I only live for 10 years? To which the sword master replies, "That seemed appropriate to me at the time. So, I revived you. If you want to live longer, you will have to find the remaining books of heaven and collect all 9 books." Hearing this, Tian was shocked. However, just then the sword master says, "Do not focus on this. Right now, the main thing now is to learn the technique." He says, "I will perform the technique for you only once. You must understand it within that time." After which, he first performs the 13 types of sword attack techniques. Tian was watching his moves very closely. Coming back outside, Tian asks the sword master in amazement, "What will be the level of this technique?" To which the sword master says, "If you master the entire technique, it will be equal to an earth level technique, with which you can easily defeat anyone." You know, although it is difficult to state its exact level, he was praising Tian because Tian mastered the 7 swords in a very short time. However, he tells Tian, "You must remain consistent because the young generation often stops working hard once they achieve success quickly. You still need to practice this technique a lot." Tian agrees. Before leaving, the sword master says, "From now on, call me Mr. Jian." Tian agrees again. And later, when the sword master was about to leave, he whispers something in Tian's ear and leaves. But this made Tian very angry. However, after this, Tian forgets about it and starts practicing. Very soon, he had reached the 2nd level of his armor technique. And in the sword technique 2, he had become better than before. But he knew that this was not enough. Yet he says, "At least, with the help of my armor technique, I will be able to block the attack of any warrior realm cultivator." Just then, a lady's voice is heard, calling for Tian because Lu Ji and Tatsu have gotten into a fight. Tian immediately runs from there upon hearing this. After this, we come to Lu Ji. We see that she had attacked Tatsu and knocked him down. She was very angry right now, and all the other disciples also knew that Lu Ji had found out that it was Tatsu who pushed Tian off the cliff. They were saying that Tatsu will not survive now. But when Lu Ji attacks, Shun Yu is Tatsu's elder sister and by Tian's daughter, appears in front. She arrives and blocks Lu Ji's attack. A fight was about to start between the two of them, but just then, Tian arrives and stops Lu Ji. Seeing him, Lu Ji was extremely happy because she didn't know yet that Tian had returned. She immediately comes to Tian, hugs him, and says, "I thought you were gone." However, Tian says, "Nothing can happen to me." Meanwhile, Tatsu, hiding behind his sister, was shouting. Seeing this, Tian and Lu Ji step forward. Tatsu was saying, "I will cultivate and kill you with my own hands." Tian replies, "If you want to fight, you can fight right now." Just when Lu Ji starts to attack, Tian himself stops her and says, "He is very weak. There is no point in wasting energy on him. We should go now. We will deal with him later." After that, Tian and Lu Ji started to leave. That other disciple, who is Tatsu's brother, was also standing there. As soon as Tian looks at him, he immediately clasps his hands in front of Tian and starts calling him young master. And with that, this part ends here.